And welcome back to What If. I finished out the Goku and the What If Bardock went to Earth and Guinea went to Earth with Goku one. Now we are going on with a new one, starting it off. And this is not technically part of the Week of What If. Week of What If starts tomorrow. I'll be doing this one during the Week of What If, but you get my point. This one comes to us from Metal Arms 38. It may have come from a couple other people, but I could have sworn I'd seen it in my book, in my notebook of the notes and requests I take, but I couldn't find it under anyone else's name. So if someone else has suggested this, I'm sorry, I'm only giving the one person the shout out. But this is what if Vegeta had gone to Earth instead of Goku, aka Dragon Ball Z Sai, which is essentially a fan manga, or I believe it was a fan manga. I know it's a legitimate thing. That was created a while back, detailing an alternate universe where Vegeta went to Earth instead of Goku. Now, that actually has a story plot and all that, but I am giving my take on it instead. So, and plus I didn't actually read it, so I don't know what actually happens in that. So, we first have to understand why Vegeta would go to Earth. Vegeta would probably go to Earth due to the fact that with all the things happening, Planet Vegeta being destroyed, and maybe Nappa even I am Nappa or rather someone hearing that it's being destroyed and not trusting Frieza. Perhaps Nappa actually has the foresight to do something smart for a change and puts Vegeta in a pod, sends him all the way out to Earth. So let's assume that's what happens. Because Vegeta was off-world, obviously, when it happened. I believe he was on one of Frieza's ships. And he heads to Earth. Now, the few events that are going to transpire are going to be the same, where Vegeta hits his head just like Goku, so forth and so on. Now, a couple things we need to address right now. First off, Vegeta's around 3 years older than Goku. And Goku really wasn't more than maybe a year old when he was sent off from Earth. I don't even think he was a year old. But let's just put Vegeta at 4 at this point. Capable of talking, things along those lines. So Gohan finds him, and Vegeta initially attacks, and it looks like he's going to kill Gohan, but he loses his grip on the footing or rocks or something like that, or, him blasting around causes some debris to fall and hits him square in the head, knocks him out, and now we get the Vegeta we'll have throughout the story. The question becomes, does this change anything about Vegeta's character? I do think it does to some extent. And the reason I say that is it's never been proven, but it's been implied, hinted here and there throughout the series, that Goku, the personality we see with Goku, is ultimately the personality that he would have had. Now that being said, he probably would have been more aggressive, probably would have been a bit more quicker to anger had he not hit his head. But other than that, he would have more or less had a similar personality to what he had. Goku's a rare Saiyan to be as kind as he is. I still think he probably would have been that kind of person, that kind of Saiyan, a rare kind of exception to the rule. And with Vegeta, we get that his main personality is someone of, stature, of pride, of arrogance. He doesn't like to be belittled. Now, you mess that up a little bit. I think, first off, he still has he knew he had a father, definitely. And he kind of still knows a bit of his background. But he's lost a decent amount of his memory about Frieza, about his dad. He probably knows that Frieza was evil and that he exists. He also would probably be a bit more compliant. He would still have his ego, his pride. I think, though, with training with Gohan, and later on probably with Roshi, he's able to curb that to some degree. He's also a bit more hospitable. Not as, friendly as, oh, hi, I'm Vegeta. How you doing? Oh, hi, I'm Vegeta. How you doing? It's like, oh, you silly people. You're so funny. No, I don't think he's quite like that. But he's able to hold a nice conversation. He's got at least somewhat of a sense of humor. Think of a much more serious and more intelligent, because he already knew how to read and write probably, and Gohan probably helped with that. But a very more toned down Goku, but he's not evil anymore. He's more just kind of, he's a bit of a gruff guy, but ultimately, or kid in this case, but he's still hospitable for what it is. So, two other things we have to address real quick is how strong is Vegeta at this point in time? It's never indicated, honestly, how strong he really was at that point. I've heard it's been implied he was around where King Vegeta was 10,000, he's like 11,000. He was already stronger than his dad. I've actually seen no evidence to really back that up. But here's the thing. We know he's around 18,000 due to years of combat, Zenkai boost, things along those lines. At his full power overall when we meet him in the series. He's around 3 years older than Goku, who, roughly speaking, at that point, is somewhere in his 20s. So Vegeta's probably in his 30s at that point, which means he spent, or close to 30 anyway. Let's just put him at 30. Let's say that. Which means that for, I don't know, 3 years, minus 3 years off of that. 3 years older than Goku, minus 3 years off of that. For around 27 years, give or take, he was fighting and training and getting stronger on the battlefield. Now, he was born a Saiyan Elite. He was already much stronger than the average person. We've seen him, even as a kid, easily kicking the crap out of Cybermen, who were around 1,200. So I'm going to say Vegeta's power, and I think he was even stronger than Nappa back then, at least back then. So I'm going to say, or at least base for Nappa. I'm going to say he was probably around 6,000, around there. Remember, he was a special case. Also, we have to address the fact that he will still probably see the moon at some point and transform into an Ozaru. However, the question becomes, can Kid Vegeta keep control of his Ozaru form like adult Vegeta could? Because we don't know how many times he's gone Ozaru in his life. We don't. He take out GT that one time. As far as I know, he's only done it the once in the series that we are aware of. I have to believe he's done it before. The question is, did he have control then? As a kid, I'm going to say he doesn't have the control he has there, but he still can identify the man who is taking care of him, who's kind of seeing as an adopted father figure. So, while he rampages, he immediately sees Gohan, and he does at least stop and recognize Grandpa Gohan when he goes to rampaging, so it's just... It's like, dear Vegeta, dear. And I think Vegeta does tell him his name. Goku, I'm Vegeta! Goku, Vegeta! So you spend the next 10 years, which is where Goku... Actually, that pretty much makes sense, doesn't it? Goku would have been maybe about 2? Give or take. So yeah, there you go. Goku's probably around 2 then. Since he was 12 when Bulma found him. I have to imagine it was about 10 years. So 10 years go by, and Vegeta probably is around 60. Problem is, Vegeta will... benefit from the technique that Gohan could teach him with martial arts. And Gohan even might get stronger through that. But Gohan's, still human, still vastly weaker compared to Vegeta. So Vegeta can only get so strong with him. But he's still refining himself and things along those lines. So Gohan's busy at the house. He's going to get food. He's got a fish with him, flying around. He sees something. He sees actually Bulma flying around or on the road because he's flying. But as far as I know, Kid Vegeta could fly. And he's like, since he's not thinking anything of it, so he just, plops down and gets the fish. Grandpa, it's like, Grandpa, I'm here. It's like, oh, Vegeta, there you are. Yep, here we go. That's it. And should note, Vegeta would be roughly speaking about what? So he'd be about 15 at this point. Yeah, he'd be about 15. Granted, he's still short, but he looks more around Bulma's age than Goku's age. So, he's there and they're preparing to fish, and then Vegeta, again, thanks to probably some tea, because when I was about to say he could probably sense power levels, but it's actually not true, because even Frieza, for all his power, until much, much later, couldn't sense power levels naturally. So, but they still have a sense and aware of their surroundings, so they do sense Bulma showing up, and Bulma bringing out the gun, which, yeah, she's pretty much, it's a home invasion she's doing at that point. And it's like, who are you? And it's like, yeah! And then she shoots at Gohan. Both Gohan and Vegeta catch the balls, and they're just, boom. What? You caught him? It's like, what are you doing in my house? Well, I would talk if I were you. I'm using adult Vegeta's voice, but I can't do a good kid Vegeta's voice. It's like, yes. It's like, what are you doing here? I was here because, and she's flabbergasted. She doesn't know what to do at the moment. So, she explains like, well, I was looking for something. You were looking for something? What exactly were you looking for? Oh, well, and then she sees the dragon. I was looking for that. Look, I found these, and they explain them. She explains why she's looking for the Dragon Balls. Saying, interesting. And then, they talk about, like, well, I don't really have any use for it. It's really been just a trinket and a memento. So if you like it, but that's ours. The father, grandpa, that's ours. That'll be my kid Vegeta. That's ours. Like, yeah, Vegeta, remember, if we have actual no use for it and someone does, there's no reason why we shouldn't be allowed to give it to them. After all, and Vegeta's like, fine. And then, by the way, well, since you're here, we don't get much company out here, so would you like to stay for lunch? It's like, Bulma. It's like, okay, sure. So they eat, and Vegeta's obviously like, it's like, I was like, yeah, excuse me. Unfortunately, table manners, I'm doing the best I can with it for table manners, but after all these years, he still eats like a wild, ravenous animal. So she explains that, I'm on a mission to find Dragon Balls and Molasses, da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, Vegeta. And it's like, what? And it's like, why did you go with her? She seems to need, she could use some protection. What? You really? I mean, right. Why would I want to? It's important you go see the world, son. After all, you can't spend your life living here, spend your whole life just here in the mountains without at least seeing the world. I suppose you're... And Vegeta's like, it might be a fun adventure. You could actually meet some strong opponents on his way, because he's saying lust for battle still rages in him. So, he agrees, and Bulma's like, if you want. If you want. He doesn't have to go with you if you don't want him. And then Bulma's just, no, if you want to. And I saw you guys catch it. You guys are clearly strong, so, if you want to come with me, sure. And then, and she pulls out the car, which Vegeta would know about these things. He's not completely disconnected from the world like Goku was. So if Bulma points out the car, he's like, hey, you gonna hop on? No. Only if I get tired. Then he floats. I was like, what? You can fly? Like, yeah. What's the big deal? I've never seen him fly. Well, I can fly. Deal with it. So Vegeta keeps up with the vehicle, and then they make camp. You wouldn't get that whole weird interaction Goku had with Bulma, where he took her panties off and basically said, "You lost your balls." So no, you're not going to get that. I do think you would get a little bit of Vegeta, kind of belittling the food she was eating, like the coffee and stuff like that. He probably prefers tea over coffee anyway. Goes and catches himself a wolf in the centipede. Gives himself a wash, all that, which he doesn't need Bulma's help, obviously. I don't actually get why she was helping him on... if he said 14 initially, and she did believe him as 14, why was she helping him take a bath? Now that I think on that, that's creepy. It's like, you're going to get pissy on him for walking in on you in the bath, but you're going to help him bathe? He knew how to take a bath. Which, granted, we know that he had it was his first interaction with soap, so that might have been part of it. But Vegeta would probably know at this point. So there's no real issue there. They meet Turtle. Vegeta quickly beats was it a wolf or a boar? I can't remember exactly what he was. Anyway, beats that guy up real quick. They goes, hey, thank you, hold on. And then, Roshi again, hey there, everybody. Master Roshi, thank you, young man, for saving my turtle. Come, Magic Phoenix! Oh, that's right. Bad birdseed, we lost a poor thing. The immortal Phoenix died. And then, here's the thing. Would Vegeta even really need the flying Nimbus? He wouldn't need it. Could Vegeta, this version of Vegeta, use the flying Nimbus? I don't think he could. Even if this is even Vegeta now, in Super, as the most positive or the most good guy the character's ever been, could not ride the flying Nimbus because he's not pure of heart. He's a good person ultimately, but he's not pure of heart. So, Vegeta's like, oh dear. And then Vegeta is actually, I think, the one who, instead of Bulma, realizes that he has a dragon. Was like, well, if you're willing to offer something, I'll take that around your neck. We're collecting them, you see. And then Vegeta decides not to tell them everything. He's like, yep, they're just collector's items. We really like them. Oh, the damn thing washed on a beach one day. But, all right, here you go. There's no Bulma panty flashing because she doesn't have to seduce Roshi, I suppose. Also, the fact that she's still wearing her panties. Even if she did, it would just be the panties. So, Vegeta and her go off. They meet Oolong. That goes quicker than even usual. He just beats Oolong up. Oolong should, because let's be clear, around 6,500 per power level, there's no one in Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z or Super, in the Dragon Ball timeline who could match Vegeta at all. So Vegeta quickly makes work of Oolong. They run into Yamcha, and to be fair, Vegeta's probably starving a bit like Goku, so he's like, ugh. But even starving Vegeta could still easily wall up Yamcha. So even though he's like, boom, 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 just takes Yamcha down pretty quick, he's like, oh, I'm starving. And then Yamcha takes that time, gets up, Wolf Fang Fist, yeah! Vegeta normally wouldn't be hurt by that, but he is just, oh god, I'm so hungry. And the Yamcha gets away, and then things play out pretty much as you would expect they did in the original. The whole boss carrot thing, Vegeta just threatens to kill him because I still think he's got the bit of a mean streak there, but it's pretty tempered and controlled things to go on. Saves Bulma. They have the whole Emperor Pilaf thing. Now with the Emperor Pilaf thing, they can't contain Vegeta. He just blasts the ceiling off, just poof. After also briefly earning the Kamehameha, you have the whole Fire Mountain thing where Vegeta can also use Energy Blast. So he tries one of his Energy Blasts. He doesn't have an actual technique as far as you know at this point, like the Gallic Gun. So he just blasts the mountain. It's not enough to put out, but he kind of copies the Kamehameha from Roshi when he shows up. So you have Vegeta with the Kamehameha, which is more powerful than the one we see Goku use because he's just more powerful. He pretty much blows up the the cell they're in, and they get the Dragon Ball, and it all works out. So, and Vegeta still realizes that he could turn to Ozaru, but I think he refrains from it because he probably doesn't want to risk it. Even though he feels that he could identify his friends from foes, he doesn't want to risk it, I'd imagine. So cut over to when he meets up with Roshi. You have him and Krillin meet. And Yamcha and Vegeta just is mocking Krillin and just, come on, Krillin, is that the best you've got? And then, they spar a bit and he clearly beats him. Roshi decides to take him on his wing, just like he did with Gohan, to refine him, help him out a bit. The training's pretty simple with Vegeta, or simpler with Vegeta at his power level than it was with Goku. But Roshi notices this pretty quick and I would imagine just adjusts. Due to the fact that in the filler arc in Super, he had Goku wear a turtle suit that was still incredibly heavy even for Goku. So I imagine he could pull something out for Vegeta. And Vegeta would improve from that. We'll just put him at even 7,000. I don't think we're going to see much drastic improvements beyond that for the rest of Dragon Ball. We might see some increases, but for the rest of Dragon Ball, I think he's pretty done. Now, they get the World Martial Arts Tournament, and frankly, Vegeta just owns everyone he fights against, and then him and Jackie Chun. Now, we know that with Roshi going to his buff form, he's far more powerful than your average individual. Like, his power is actually, probably goes up to a couple 1,000 range. Is that enough to take down Vegeta? Well, to avoid Vegeta's arrogance really taking hold again, for story purposes, I'm going to say that he goes into his full buff form. They struggle with the Kamehameha struggle, but Roshi, being the more experienced, is able to kind of twist and then turn around and just blast Vegeta, and he goes right out of the ring. And Vegeta does lose, which allows Jackie Chun, Master Roshi, to win the day. So I think I will allow Roshi to win that. So Vegeta's like, damn it, I'll have to try harder next time. And then he looks at Roshi and just, or Jackie Chun, and just, despite all, just, good match. I look forward to seeing you again. Oh man, it's a clever move. You would have had me there had I not pulled that out. You've got a lot of potential, young man. Never stop trying to reach for the stars. Then gives a respectful nod. So we cut over now to the Red Ribbon Army arc, and I'm just gonna fast forward through all this. Vegeta wrecks shop with the entire Red Ribbon Army. There's no one in the Red Ribbon Army who could oppose Vegeta. Even, Silver, who had the electrifying technique, can't stand against him. General Tao, Mercenary Tao, can't do a damn thing. When he tries to take him on, Vegeta just kills him. I think Vegeta has less qualms about killing than Goku does. So I do think Vegeta, when it's necessary, I think Vegeta kills someone. Cut over to the World Martial Arts Tournament the next year. Then it becomes something where a little different, where he knows how strong Vegeta is. It's feasible that he could have beaten Tien. I think it's feasible he could have beaten Tien, but he felt it was time to let the next generation take over. But with this, I think he might feel that he can't take on, that Tien can't take on Vegeta. Because he's already fought Vegeta and knows how strong he is. It was just by bare luck that he won. I actually imagine Roshi would actually start training again just so he can make sure to have something in the way to stop Vegeta. And if Roshi actually wanted to start training again, we know how strong Roshi got for the Tournament of Power. Who's to say how strong he could actually get? So, again, it comes down to Vegeta versus Jackie Chun. Vegeta, who has not really increased his power at all since the last time they fought, still around 7,000. Roshi, I think, is actually more, after a full year of training or so, I can't remember, it's like every other year was the tournament, or basically for a full amount of time there's training, and actually intense training. Hey, don't mince words. I could see him easily being around because he's immortal, and he never stops improving. He could easily be around 400,000, which 400 in terms of power, which wouldn't be anything in base form. We're talking base form. When he goes into like that semi-buff form or his full buff form, that now you're dealing with a much stronger fighter than what we normally have in the canon with Roshi. However, the catch here is that it's still a stamina draining form, so he doesn't do it unless he has to, which again he has to. And when he goes in the full bulk form, they collide, and it's actually they're clashing. It's intense. One final beam struggle between them, and again, boom, they knock each other out. However, because he was the reigning champion at that point, the title still goes to Roshi. So he's like, Jackie Chan wins again. Oh, God. So it's like, damn, I almost had you this time. It was a draw. Yes, I know. Oh, that was so close. Maybe next time might be your year, young man. Just keep that firm. It's like, just keep that strong spine and firm back and never give up on your dreams. I'll get you next time, old man. And then they kind of fist bump. It's all good. So then you cut afterwards. Tambourine kills Krillin. By the way, I do think Vegeta and Krillin are relatively good friends because they're students of the Turtle Tournament. And I think Vegeta being that much stronger also propels Krillin to get stronger than he actually was. Still gets killed by Tambourine. Vegeta's like, that's basically his best friend at this point. So he's not just raging. Not enough that he goes Super Saiyan, but it's still more than enough that he just powers through and just finds Tambourine and wrecks Tamborine's shop, even though he's hungry. Here's the problem now with King Piccolo showing up. Roshi tries to they could both. I can't remember how it went. Did Roshi confront King Piccolo first, or did King Piccolo confront Goku and Goku get his ass kicked first? I think Goku confronted him first. So we're going to go with Vegeta confronting him first, which unfortunately does not spell good news for anyone because I think Vegeta quickly just axes off King Piccolo, not realizing that axed off Kami, and it just basically ends the Dragon Ball. The Dragon Balls don't work, and they can't even bring back Krillin or a lot of the martial artists who died. Dragon Balls are gone now. However, I mean, you still got Tien and Krillin. Or Tien and Roshi's still around, and they're just like, oh, what are we going to? Why? How? And then all people to show up, it is Popo who shows up. It's like Vegeta, Muten Roshi, Tien Shinhan, we must talk. And I think we're going to leave it there with Vegeta killing King Piccolo. There's no Dragon Ball, so they now have to have a discussion. So yeah, that's where we're going to leave it off, with Popo coming down and having a conversation with them. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if, anything you can do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So it's the week of what if coming this week, plus the standard usual who would wins. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you